Greetings, people of the internet, YouTubers, web crawlers, and DIYers, and technicians. Okay, 94 Mustang. The original 4.6 is long gone. Somebody put in a 302, and basically what's going on, this is the same car that we're doing the custom hood for, depending on when this video is replaced. Customer got the car, and, well, he doesn't know anything about it. So the car's been running on battery power. The alternator is not charging. There's a Ford 3G alternator in it. And these are really pretty simple to shoot down, especially on a custom application. We used to do a lot of these when I was running the Jeep Grand Wagoneers. This is a very popular swap. So unfortunately, it's something that I am familiar with. So let me get zoomed in, and I'm going to show you how to shoot this thing down real quick. Okay, now there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You could use a power probe, you could use an ohm meter. But the first thing we want to check for is that on the yellow wire coming out of the 3-pin connector on the back of the alternator, we want to make sure that we have 12-volt battery. This green and red is going to be a 12-volt switched. The middle wire is a stator, goes to the middle of the alternator. So the big cable on the back goes back to battery. We have battery voltage there. We come over here and we check. We have battery voltage there. We go turn the ignition on. And we got nothing. So, how can we prove what's going on here? Let me show you. Now, while I'm going through all this, this car is kind of set up like a race car. So, it's got electric fans that are set to be on all the time. And they draw, the electric fan draws power. Also has an aftermarket fuel pump in it, which draws a ton of power. Which it shouldn't, because it's a carbureted engine. Okay, so now I still have the ignition on. At least I thought I did. Nope. What we want to do is verify the customer complaint. And it wasn't a customer complaint. We noticed we went to go start, the car wouldn't start. Kevin asked me to troubleshoot it, and that's what I had found. So if I start the car, let's see if the alternator is doing absolutely nothing right now. Alright, now, because I don't like hooking things up while cars are running. A little mild can though, it seems to be, yeah. Nobody really knows. Okay, now we're going to use that as our excite wire. Now, if I plug this wire in, now we've got an alternator. So the plan is to wire that to 12-volt electric, or 12-volt key on, rather. And, well, that's that. But again, for you guys that are trying to troubleshoot a 3G not charging, those are the first things to check, because if you don't have those wires, nothing's going to work. And as you get, I don't know, well, I moved the camera, but this has a brand new alternator, brand new starter that was put in by somebody. I don't know who. It doesn't matter. All right, let me get this wired in, and then we'll verify that it's fixed. Okay, so what I ended up doing was opening up this wiring harness. I'm sure it's out of frame for you guys, but following the wires down from the alternator, and whoever wired this in clearly doesn't understand a few things. So that green and red wire actually ends up right here, which is coming to the negative side of the coil. So this green and red needs to come over to here. So I'm going to cut all this open, get this fixed, put it back together, and then we'll verify that everything is working the way it's supposed to. Simple enough. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can get this apart without breaking anything. Oh, at least I soldered it. So, customer actually owns a few different cars. He's got a whole family of Mustangs at his house. So he doesn't want to put a whole lot into fixing this, because there's stuff that he does on his own. He's got a custom Audi A6, I think it is. Straight pipe tuned, all that fun stuff. So basically, and he's got another guy who's going to be taking the motor out, going through the motor, just to find out exactly what's inside of it. Car runs great. I mean, it's kind of sucks when it's cold, but this whole part here. Okay, so yeah, I think I got some of the work. I think. So first order of business. Rid of that. Put this. I use Scotch 33 electrical tape. So I'm just gonna kind of wrap that back together. It's gonna look brutal, but again, this is about getting it done, not so much about getting it perfect. This here, not exactly sure. I'll wire back to the EEC module is a little on the short side. Feels like there's another junction in here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we're a little short. So my plan was to cut off this spade connector, put on a yellow spade, join all 3 wires in here. And that would be that. I don't want to do a vampire clamp on there. I feel other connections underneath all this electrical tape. Right in here. That seems like it's going to be a can of worms if I open that up. So, alright, so like I said, we have self-soldering, so the wires are twisted together, solder goes over that part of it, then you heat it up until the solder melts, and then you heat up the ends, and it'll shrink itself. See there where solder started flowing. I've also done this with a heat gun. And the key I found is to let this cool off. Right, so once it's cooled off here, give it a tug, give it the old dad. That ain't going anywhere. Now, I'm going to take this out. And give that a snip. Throw that someplace. Get that part of it stripped. Take our 2 wires here. Again, I don't know what the ultimate plan is for this car, so we're not going crazy. This here, we're just doing this down and dirty, quick. Customer can drive it home. So that's going to go on there. That's going to go on there. That's going to go on there. That's going to come off of there. And so I'm going to grab the test light. Turn the ignition on. Oh dear. Okay, that's why. I forgot to hook up the green and red wire. Absolutely brilliant. Not at that time. How many times does it take a guy to get a connector on? Okay. Now, turn the key on. Okay, this is the part where I start to lose my mind.
Well, a lot of people just doesn't realize how smart I is.
Yeah.
I like to use it that way.
Okay, so looks like this wire is actually broken. Let's see, let's get the alternator. Let's see. No. All right, so now this thing's properly wired. Wow. Okay, so I had a Magoo moment where there was a green wire down by a coil that wasn't my green and red. I have no idea where the green and red went to, but it now goes over to the coil. The wire I disconnected from the blue side, that was the blue wire, was I think actually for the tack. So yeah, that was all my fault, but full disclosure, let you know anything that I screw up. So everything's back together, running, we're charging. Even if I put the electric fan back on, okay, so we still did drop down there, but now see the alternator's recovering. And although this has an electric choke, it doesn't appear to be working, but wasn't a part of what I was supposed to do. So with everything cleaned up and put back together, I got wire loom over everything, taped where it needs to be taped, and well, that's that. We're making electricity now. So like I said, if you ever come across this, if you have a 3G, this is the middle wire out of the 3-wire connector that's here. The A connector, or the yellow wire, has to be 12 volt positive. The green and red, or the S terminal, I believe, has to be 12 volt ignition on. All right, there you go. Hopefully it wasn't, by the time I edit this isn't a really long video. Yeah, that's that. Well, I appreciate you hanging around to the end. As always, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. And as always, until we see you next time, peace.